Mm. Yes, 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 yes.
Uh,
Aquarius.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Heather, are you just thriving?
I am an Aquarius and I'm a seventh house Aquarius. I have Mars in Aquarius too. And right now, Venus is transiting my descendant. And, they say that that's like a transit where you just like feel especially pretty because it's Venusian and like everyone's reaching out to you. And like it's very, lots of one on one hangout opportunities. And I've just been experiencing that and living for it. My skin is clear,
Yes, to the
having
clear
good
skin.
times with good
The good
friends and
times.
yeah, loving it. But also I feel like with Aquarius, I'm feeling already this like surge of creative inspiration. Like I'm thinking way
Mm.
more about creative ideas and getting a lot of fulfillment out of that. I don't know. Do you feel that?
Amazing. Heather, I love that. Well, and it's also like, I definitely am feeling there is just like the creativity's she's always flowing, she's always there. But the
Yeah, yeah.
beginning and start of the new year, right, is like I feel like my creativity is always a little lower because I'm getting everything else into place. So that
Yes.
like the creativity, it's kind of like what we talked about, that earth sign. We're in
Getting
these
your
like
ducks in a row.
yes, we're in these routines or these cycles, right? Of earth into air, into water, into fire. And like,
Yeah.
I really was like feeling that earth, not that earth is not creative, but for me, this like the earlier parts of this year were definitely, yes, getting the ducks in the row.
Yeah.
And now my little ducklings are ready to skip across the pond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a very creatively charged time. And real quick too, while we're here and while I'm
Mm-hmm.
remembering, folks, Heather Cunningham, give it up for her. Your Aquarius queen, your astrology queen of your dreams, of the stars, for all of us here. Honestly, a volunteer, a soldier. You're on the grounds, Heather. And it's really your season. I'm so happy for you because I know I
I'm
love Aquarius
excited.
season, but like, yeah, I know you're thriving right now. And then after that is Pisces,
I
which we'll
know.
get to
It's an
that later.
exciting
That's
time.
my season. But yeah, no, these two back to back, these seasons back to back, and like in particular, this is something we've talked a lot about, Heather. I'm surrounded by Aquarians, like
Mm-hmm.
surrounded. That might be like maybe the sign I'm most surrounded by, which is really funny to me. Because it's
I love
also just
that.
so close to Pisces.
Right.
And I just like I vibe with Aquarians. There's just a lot of Aquarian girlies and boys, but like mainly Aquarian girlies that are
Mm-hmm.
very near and dear to my heart. Shouts out, you know her, you love her. Jamie Rice. Jamie
Mm-hmm.
Rice just celebrated a birthday in Aquarius yesterday. An Aquarian, a birthday in Aquarius. Just celebrated her own birthday.
Yeah.
She is an Aquarius. So like shouts out to her. We have a
Shouts
ton of
out.
Aquarians. Shouts out to Heather. Shouts out to Katie Greenlee. She's been dying for this series. My cousin, her birthday is the same day as Katie Greenlee's, little Joy
Mm.
Magnolia. Now Joy Young, because she's married. She was Joy Vincent,
Oh.
a recent Joy Young. But yeah, like I really do have a lot of Aquarians. So like this season, I think I'm at home in it, if that makes
Yeah. No,
sense.
it does make
It's
sense.
like a cozy time, and I'm just sort of like familiar with this, like, I don't know. It brings out almost like a sense of nostalgia or like a familiarness that like, and like there's like a trust in that. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes
To answer
sense.
your question, I'm feeling creatively charged.
Yeah, that's great.
Definitely like inspired. There's a lot of inspirational buildup in the beginning of the year. And
Yeah,
now it's
yeah.
sort of like, and we're in flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's only going to continue because yeah, Venus is moving into Pisces this
Mm.
week. Um that's like especially creative. Venus is exalted in Pisces and yeah. I don't know. I'm just really feeling the like yeah, like create inspired creatively but also inspired just to think of like what do I want to do with my life? Like those
Yeah.
issues in a way that is different than Capricorn in a way that's like
Not
where do I
just
see
for the year.
myself? Yeah, in
Yeah.
like 10 years or like
Yeah.
what am I leaving behind?
A bigger like realm. Well, and especially for you, Heather, like we've talked about this a little bit. My new year, it feels like personally, my birthday is March 19th. My new year feels like that. Like that's always sort of like, not that this new year doesn't like count. And I'm not in like the
Yeah.
age of Capricorn going into Aquarius and all that, but it definitely almost feels like I kind of have another, like after the 2 months of like the years and the world sort of new
Mm-hmm.
year, the 2 months after that. This is always sort of like prep time. And then like when my actual birthday hits, it's like that always for me is like the big usually like the explosion of creativity, energy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But
No, which I love.
But yeah, I'm wondering if you're feeling extra like creatively pumped because you are an Aquarius.
Right. And that makes sense. And like every time you have your birthday, you have your solar return. So like the transiting sun returns to where it is in your natal chart when you were born.
Right.
And that's supposed to be like your own personal new year in a way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's like this return to the sun qualities. Like, how are you going to shine this year? It's like a rebirth. And I
love that.
The past few years, I've been really obsessed with solar return charts. Like, you can look up what your solar return chart is, and it's sort of like a chart that shows what the energies are for the year, like what you're dealing with.
Oh, I love that.
I'm really excited for my solar return chart this year because I have Leo rising and Jupiter in the 9th. And yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling good about it.
Oh, that's sick. That's such an exciting, like, I forget. I got to look at, there's so much more.
There's so much.
And I love you've been saying that you've been like following even your own personal chart, just sort of the way things are moving in your chart. Not like, obviously we're paying attention to like the greater, bigger, like sky for everyone. But I love that you can really get to like the nitty gritty of your own chart and sort of see where that really affects you more specifically than maybe others, or like, based on,
it's really exciting, like right now when everything's hitting like my planets, like I'm like watching and like
you're just here for the ride, baby.
You're
just here with the flow. That is really exciting, Heather.
Also,
there was something. Oh, please.
Well,
no,
I was gonna say.
I forgot what I was gonna
say. It's really exciting that right now, as of just a few days ago, all planets are direct, and they are going to be direct for the next 92 days, which like doesn't happen all the time. Like, we've gone whole years with no time period of all planets being direct. So the fact that we have 92 days of all planets being direct is kind of a big deal. And I looked it up, and so the next retrograde we have is during Taurus season, which I think is cool. That's like Mercury's going to retrograde during Taurus season. So up until then, all the planets are direct. And like, we just came off of Capricorn, so it's sort of like we're going through the whole cycle of like air, water, fire, then earth, with like all planets direct. Like, we're going through a whole element cycle before we have another retrograde, which I think is cool.
That's really interesting. And
I feel like things have like picked up recently. I mean, it like literally just happened a few days ago, so we're probably gonna like feel it more as the weeks go on. I think like in February, you're supposed to really feel that like forward momentum energy where things are just flowing and happening.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. And I'm like obviously thinking of myself and applying that to self.
Yeah.
Listeners, you should do the same.
Yes.
Like, even as I hear that and as you say that, I'm like, whoa, that kind of does check out. Or like, I'm taking a big trip in February,
right?
To like to a city I've never been to, and so it's kind of like, and we're going there for like a creative endeavor. So it's like, or like for the film festival, and like that's just that's interesting. I've been kind of waiting to see, like, spiritually, what the stars and the moon and the sky have been having to say about like this trip for me a little bit.
Yeah.
And so like as you're saying that, I'm like applying it to self.
Right.
But that's really interesting. So you said that sometimes we go years without this ever happening, let alone 90, you said 92 days?
92 days.
Let alone 92 days of all nine planets being direct.
On a single retrograde.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Wow. That is exciting. So like with that energy, Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's almost like if that's not like sort of the green flag to sort of like just go forward as such and like just continue to pursue, hold steady, keep calm, carry on, whatever the fuck. Like, that's sort of the messaging to me is kind of what I'm getting, is just like not just like vibe and feel it out, but like as the planets are direct, so am I.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just kind of like being intentional with my choices, being intentional with like this time. That's really interesting, especially while it's like, it's not as mucky just yet, or this is not a time for like, I'm about to have that, right? You're about to get that huge time. So like, this is like the forward
Yeah.
go time. I love that.
Yeah. You can accomplish a lot in the next
The
92
universe
days.
truly
So
gives you guidelines. The universe kind of provides a schedule, doesn't she?
it does. Yeah, I know. I'm so
Like I
much less
graduated from
stressed about
school.
my own timeline now because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's in the stars.
It's
like,
literally, it could not be more in the stars.
yeah.
But also, yeah, no, that's how I'm like, I fell off of after graduating college is sort of where my like big fall off came, where I was just like, they really don't give us a schedule for life, huh?
I
Or like we really got to
know.
like my executive functioning, my ADHD started to
Yeah.
really kick showing her ugly head. But like, yeah, that's what a nice messaging to be like, just go, just
Mm-hmm.
fucking just Nike that shit. Just do it. Is
Mm-hmm.
sort of what the universe is saying. I
Yeah.
love that. Oh,
Yeah.
this is an exciting time
It is. It
of
is.
direction, forward
Yeah.
movement. Oh,
Yeah.
I
And I
love
feel
that.
like being an Aquarius myself, I kind of struggle. Well, I also have Chiron in the first house. I don't know. It's a lot of things, but I feel like I struggle to like get things started. Like that's definitely the hardest part for me with
I'm like, I'm
anything.
sorry. Are you talking to a Pisces?
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can
The
relate. It's
just
like
go. Just do
I
just
can dream forever, but like
it's
actually,
the plans are nonstop. The
yes,
execution
I
has
know.
nowhere to be found.
So
Execution? Whatever.
no, that's
I'm like
right.
executive functioning, all that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I think it's cool that all planets are starting to move direct during Aquarius season. It's giving me like a push to be like,
Yes. Yes. Like it's not to get too far out with it, folks.
yeah.
But like this is sort of like this is the idea, right? Like spirituality isn't in our language. It's not just like
Yeah.
it's not like the stars can say or the sun can flat out say or the universe can just sort of like the universe, she's all encompassing, right? There's so many energies, so many moving parts, yada yada yada. You got to remember the universe does not communicate with us like like just like how we are communicating right now. She probably rarely puts it into words that you can understand or a language you can understand. And like this is what this is, right? This intuitiveness of like kind of sort of just like listening,
Yes.
following, knowing sort of what's going on, connecting to that more because as I'm older, I realize the universe has never left us alone. The universe is never like she's been shouting and screaming in her own voice and own way forever. And like it's just such a beautiful reminder of like the way that the universe chooses to communicate with us. This is how I'm
Yes.
choosing to like see it. If you don't
Yeah.
relate to this, oh my
Yeah.
God, just keep listening. I promise I'll be done soon. But like, yeah, it does just remind me that like we are constantly receiving messages from the universe. We are constantly
Yeah.
receiving guidelines, messages, little helpful tips. Like even when you feel like you're abandoned by it and like, but if you're not open to receiving these messages, that's when it feels like the universe is shut off to you. And like I've just been as we've talked doing this podcast, like I'm so much more open to just like spirituality as a whole, but let alone like receiving messages and like just being open-minded to it and into a place of like connecting to it so that you can receive the messages. It's been a very, very beautiful fucking thing. I've never felt more human and like than I have in my later years, weirdly connecting more to the sky.
I
It's like,
know.
it's almost like all that cliche shit they tell you literally your whole life does check out in the end. Like it pisses me off that like the weird like the answers are truly right here. It's like the universe she provides, folks. Like we do really have everything we need, and it's a beautiful thing to realize.
It is. It adds
Sorry
meaning.
for the rant.
I live for meaning. Like
Yeah,
I
our little
need that
passionate
shit.
asses.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and bringing up the Saturn return again, I feel like that's like such a time in your life where you do like have those messages or those sudden insights, sudden inspiration to do things differently. And this week I've been revisiting Tame Impala's album Currents. And I don't know if you know, I feel like people don't talk about this enough, but like Currents is like about his Saturn return, and the whole album, like the first song is called Let It Happen, then there's Yes I'm Changing. It's like it's literally all about how he's like doing things differently. He's doing a pop album for the first time. He broke up with his girlfriend. He's like he feels this urge to like be different. And anyway, so halfway through writing it, he like learned about what a Saturn return was, and he literally is quoted in an interview being like, yeah, it added meaning to everything I was going through because like I had like something to attribute all this stuff I was feeling inside to, like something on paper. And yeah, like he found the Saturn Return very inspiring. Good Saturn Return album. Listen to
Do you know
Currents again.
Do you know?
Okay, so he's a Capricorn at the very end of Aquarius. So a fun person to talk about this episode. I think he's like on the day it changes. I think he's technically a Capricorn, but it's actually, it could be Aquarius. I don't know.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I love that. It's so funny realizing how many celebrities have been talking about astrology, or I'm sure that you got this is also a great person to bring up because I'm sure, Heather, you've been seeing like the memes too of oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Spider-Man.
Oh, Tom?
Not Tom Holland. Oh my god.
The original Tobey Maguire?
No,
I just watched that.
No, not Tom Holland.
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. I wanted to call him like Timothy Garf. Like I was like, something's not clicking. Love him to death. And he like there's been viral stuff of like who taught him how to read his chart, or like who taught him astrology because he knows his moon and his rising.
Oh,
and his,
love
like,
it.
sun,
Love it.
And he's an Aquarius. And like it's just
I
yeah.
love that.
I love Andrew Garfield.
The musical theater boy.
Yeah, might not be too late to do him on the pod later, but
yeah,
I know he's not our pick for today, but I'm just like I also kind of love. I'll bring him up all through all the episodes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just because, yeah, he's been really going viral right now in the astrology realm, and like people have just been joking of like Andrew Garfield knowing exactly what women want to hear, and like,
that's
but
amazing.
also, I was just like, and he's an Aquarius. Like you always like even people who don't take it astrology maybe as seriously, and you know that they've like even just maybe like they've dabbled, right? You can start to see the interest click. You can start to see even if they don't admit it. I'm sure you've experienced this, Heather, talking about astrology with someone.
Jake and I were just talking about this.
Even if they can't admit it, you can see.
You can see it in their eyes.
Like,
this glimmer. I know. It's like who doesn't want to talk about
all of a sudden there's like
and
this
learn
magic.
about themselves and like how we're all unique, which is
so that
a very
you can relate
Aquarian...
to others.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. And like this reminder that like I'm not alone. And like it's right. And I think so many people who maybe don't want to vibe with astrology or don't want to see themselves in it. Like I think there's a beautiful realization that like we're all kind of intertwined and connected in a bigger picture. That's beautiful to me. You don't lose your individuality.
No.
Admitting the reality that we all are interconnected. The two are allowed to exist. Like you're allowed to have individuality, and we also all are allowed to be like interwoven. And like it can be
Totally.
Sorry,
no, yeah. To me, it shows just how like the beauty in the fact that we have the ability to like balance each other's out, that we all have our own unique function to contribute to this larger collective. It's very Aquarian.
Yes.
Yeah,
like we can all have an incredible, it is so fucking Aquarius. That's really interesting. Yes, Heather. So talk about before we get into these charts.
Yes.
Talk again about, so like Age of Aquarius and this, talk a little more about that bigger collective. I love that. I want to hear more.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really cool. So yeah, we're moving into the Age of Aquarius. That's like a huge ass thing because we've been in the Age of Pisces since like forever, since like Jesus times. So that's a big deal. And like that's,
oh my God. Wait, Heather, I'm so sorry. I'm not a religious person, as you know, but like
Jesus is a Pisces.
I did church. Okay. Is that the fish? Like, you know that like religious fish?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I attribute it to that. Like, yeah, every time I see
what is the Jesus fish? I'm totally missing something. Listeners, I do apologize. Let me know what the Jesus fish means. But now as you're saying that, I'm like, oh my God, is that why?
Yeah, I read
astrology is before the Bible, folks. Astrology is older than the Bible.
I know. Yeah, there's symbolism to
as you
the
say
fish
that, I'm like,
glyph. That there's
it could be like a Bible story.
They're like swimming in a circle. Yeah, I think its root is in like myth, but it's funny that Jesus totally represents Pisces themes, and to me is a Pisces. He's not. I think it says that he's a Capricorn, but like
isn't he
we celebrate Christmas like during Capricorn season, but he was actually born in March or something. So
That's
he's
right.
totally,
Oh
and the
my
whole
God.
story
I
of
forgot
Jesus
about
Christ
this.
is
Yeah, it's
a
like
Pisces
bullshit.
story. Like
Oh
literally
my
sacrificing
God.
yourself for humanity, dying on the cross, being like the victim and the scapegoat but like having enough love and
Jesus is
compassion to be
literally
like, I love you
Pisces.
guys anyway. No, Jesus is a Pisces. And it
But I
pisses me
forgot
off when
that we
people are
did.
like, he's a
Yeah,
Capricorn.
but we found this out. It's like, well, technically, if Jesus. Okay, let me restart. Jesus
We're like,
Christ, I'm gonna get us canceled. But I just mean like, yeah, didn't historically we figured out
he was
that
born in like
Jesus,
March.
like, yeah, like, they totally fucked his birthday up, and it's
Yeah,
like,
totally.
we'll call it Christmas. We're just gonna
Right.
keep going with the holiday,
Well,
right?
that
Like,
has something
or
to do with
something
the
else
pagan
happened on
calendar.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
pagan calendar. It doesn't reflect his actual birthday. So everyone, Jesus
And like
was not
Easter's
a Capricorn.
when he
Was resurrected, but
that
I'm
would
sure that date
honestly
is
that
off
would make
too.
more. Yeah, because and then now part of me is like, or is it about like, because Easter, Jesus, I got to go back to church. Not actually, but like, I got to Google it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that checks out.
Anyway,
Jesus being a Pisces checks out. Also, I know that we're in the age of Aquarius. I'm going to take it off Pisces here in a second, but that I think I can't remember if I've already said this on the pod. If I have, Heather, apologies, listeners, apologies. But Pisces is the quote unquote rarest sign in terms of the astrological calendar. It's the shortest. I think there's like, it's like a day or two shorter. Like, and this is
probably
why
because of
Pisces
the
has
leap
such
year
a
thing.
No. Oh.
Which
well,
I
I thought
feel
it was like
about.
well, I thought it was like the astrological calendar, just the way, like literally there's less days in Pisces than any other sign. Like not even just the leap year thing. Like I think it's like a day shorter than the rest. So that's why technically it's rare, because there just truly are, the probability is that there's less Pisces in the world just because of we have like one day or two shorter than the rest of the sign.
Yeah.
But like, as if Pisces needs any more reason for a martyr complex. Like, of course, Jesus, there's a Pisces. Of course, it's the rarest and the last one on the sign.
I know. It's
like,
so.
It's just like, as a Pisces, I'm like, being the chosen one's hard. No, I'm just kidding. But there's this like, I don't know. Pisces has is this why we have like a vision of like, we just should be doing everything, honestly, backwards of how we're doing. I don't know. As a Pisces, I'm just like, in order to get this correct, I'd have to burn the whole thing down and start over. Like there's really like, there's this part that's like, we'll never change it because everything's busted. And like, I don't know. Anyways.
No, totally.
Continue,
I can't agree
Heather.
more.
You're just you're blowing my mind. I'm having some huge realizations over here.
I love that. I love that.
Oh my God, I'm just like Jesus.
No, literally.
Doesn't even believe in him. Oh my God, I'm just like Jesus. Anywho's go on. But okay, age of Aquarius.
So
that's just that's so funny.
So we're moving into the age, but that's a very gradual thing. That's like the end of this decade. Like we're gonna actually be in it. And then but Pluto, the generational planet, that's the slowest moving planet, takes like 250 something years to travel across the whole zodiac. So we don't experience Pluto being in a lot of the signs throughout our lifetime. I think it's really awesome. I love that, like, I'm an Aquarius and I get to live in a lifetime where Pluto's going to enter Aquarius right at the end of my Saturn return. That feels like very profound. But yeah, so Pluto's going to move into Aquarius in 2025 for like a second and then this year for a second and then retrograde back. And then it's going to actually enter it in 2025 for good.
Amazing.
So that is like an indication that we're moving into a decade of Aquarian themes, and like as a collective, we're being called to integrate Aquarian philosophies in order to like level up as a collective. And yeah, so it's I see it as like less escapism, less like well, no, actually, when it comes to Pluto, because the ages move backwards. So in terms of the ages, it's like less escapism, more looking out for one another. And I think like global warming is a part of this, just really understanding that like we're all connected.
Like we can't do it alone.
We can't do it alone.
This shit alone. And like, God bless the age of Pisces, but as a Pisces, I couldn't be more fucking grateful that we're in age of Aquarius. I really couldn't. Just like, we're not going to have a planet much longer if we didn't move into age of Aquarius. Like, can you fucking believe that we're kind of moving into this huge age? Also sort of at like the peak tip of like hey, global, we're past the point of saving is sort of the messaging I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I think they've known. I think if I don't mean to get all into it, but like, there's a huge part of me that's like, I think we know we're just way too far past the point of maybe being able to reverse a lot of the shit we've done over the years. But regardless, this age of the timing
I
of
know.
just sort of everything. And now we're in the age of Aquarius, and we just got out of, like, we ended the age of Pisces. Was COVID still part of the age of Pisces?
Yeah, I mean,
Or am I
technically, we're
getting
still
it
in the age of
in
Pisces because
Pisces?
it's such a
It's like a
gradual thing,
yeah,
but we're
that's right.
feeling
You just said that.
we're feeling the
We're starting to
changes,
feel
and
that pull.
Pluto
Yeah.
is like very soon about to move in Aquarius. So yeah,
Amazing. Okay, yes, because
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what a way to fucking end the age of Pisces with COVID in that
No,
way.
it's
Not like
true. No.
all of us kind of coming together. Like, when else have we had in my lifetime? I don't know when else we would have had that moment. Like, I'm so, again, I obviously want to be so careful how I say this. I'm not like, there's a lot of bullshit that came with COVID, 100%, but a lot of the, like, the pause, like the pausing of life, like, was, I needed that. And I was in my early 20s when COVID hit, or like mid 20s, and like needed that pause and a way to reset. And like in a it was a beautiful thing. I got, like,
Yeah.
I am not
No, I'm with
articulating
you.
myself
No, no, no,
either.
no,
I'm
no.
just
I'm
all
with
jazzed
you.
on this conversation.
No,
But like,
yeah.
as you're saying this, I'm like, what a fucking way to end Pisces in this way. That's like, not only are we about to move into the age of Aquarius, here's even more like reason why we should be coming together. Like, if it, what a
Yeah.
beautiful sort of send off into Aquarius.
Right.
As shitty as we get that this was, a lot of beautiful things that came out of this, just with like spirituality, a lot more people talking about just like, I just feel like more people, more people are getting aligned, and
Yeah.
more people are joining and tuning into this frequency, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
always
yeah.
been there. That's like always been available to us, but it really feels like we're getting that messaging out more. And like,
Yeah.
just what a I just, as you're saying that, I'm like like, I'm blown away
I
just
know.
because I
No.
couldn't, again, it couldn't be more obvious.
I know. And in early 2020, like that's when Saturn moved into Aquarius, like one of our like slower moving planets that deals with like restriction, but like look at your issues, look at the limitations we're dealing with. Like Saturn moved into Aquarius at the start of COVID. You could go down a rabbit hole reading all these articles about the Saturn Uranus square and how like COVID really forced us to like think about what is life without the 9 to 5s and the work and the, you know.
God, and
So
that's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
That's the part I loved, because my Pisces ass has always been like, we got to stop with the 9 to 5s.
I
Like,
know.
from birth, I've been like, what
Life
the
is more
fuck
than
are we
this.
talking
Bullshit.
about? Yes. And like, I think I told you this too, Heather. Sorry, don't mean to get all shouty, but like,
know.
I think I was really young. And I think this is my little Pisces ass, but like, I was really young. It was take your child to work day. My mom is accountant. I had a blast. I got all dressed up, got to go with her to work. And
You're
I
like,
remember
what the
being
fuck
there
is
like, I'd rather be at fucking school. You're kidding me. Like, this sucks. Like, and I was like, this is what you come and do every day? You drop me off at
depressing.
school to come here? Like, I just remember I was like, it was obviously, I was an elementary school kid, so of course a lot of things were boring to me. But I shit you not, Heather, it was like right then and there that I was like, no, I will not fucking,
Yeah.
like, I remember right there, I promised myself, like, bitch, you better find out what you like, and you better like it fast, and you better figure out how to make money in that, because we are not doing a cubicle for 9 to 5. Like,
Totally.
I like, my ADHD then knew, like, we can't do this. But no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was also, I just feel like that was so profound for me to have at such a young age, that realization
Yeah.
of like, so like, when so many people, like when COVID hit, I felt, not to be like, I've had this thought since elementary, but it was a beautiful thing to be like, yes,
Yeah.
right? Isn't this
Yeah.
insane what we're doing, what we're
Yeah.
talking about? And it almost felt like people were forced to tap into Pisces a little more. Like, like,
Yeah.
COVID was that, even maybe someone's never thought about it. No one's ever questioned their 9 to 5. Like, you didn't have a choice, like that time frame, and still sort of that time frame. We're still seeing the like effects of that, but like, you did not have a choice. The universe said, no, this is the assignment. No one doesn't, no one gets to opt out. Like, she really said, if y'all don't get to your shit together before Aquarius season, or like, if y'all don't get your shit together before the age of Aquarius, she said, like, truly,
No, it's true.
really, That shit's wild, Heather.
And I
Mind's blown.
know. And I think like that's part of the task of our generation. Like I like the whole
Yeah.
idea that like
You have a
millennials are lazy
responsibility.
or like whatever. Like, no, I think it's that we see life differently. And yeah, we have a
We do.
responsibility to like change things. And that brings me to my pick for our charts today.
Yes,
because the
'cause we have to
person
get into
I
it.
selected I think really lives through this. She tries to
Yeah.
always like stay forever young and like maintain a sense of fun, and she was like, I'm not going to work a normal job, I'm going to make money partying. I fucking love that.
And then some.
Yeah literally.
Go on, Heather. Go ahead and
Yes,
drop the name if you like.
okay.
Shall we
One
move
of
into the
my
charts while we're here?
Yeah, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite celebrities, hands down, in the world, Paris Hilton, who shares my birthday. What an honor.
You have the exact same birthday.
The same birthday.
Amazing.
I always loved her
Amazing.
since I was a kid. I just went home to Florida and went through like my old journals, and I have this entry that was a school assignment that's like, talk about someone who inspires you. And I wrote this whole essay about Paris Hilton, and I was like, she's not dumb. Like, just because she's like hot. I didn't say that, but like, but the teacher was like, she wrote like, I agree. And I've always just like, I think I've always like, even before I could like articulate it or yeah, define it in an intellectual way, I think I just like always felt a connection to her. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm someone who people like can easily dismiss as like, oh, the things I enjoy are like dumb, or like, I don't know, I'm very feminine, very girly. I love astrology and reality TV and like these like trashy
like,
things. I love to
people
party.
dismiss that, Heather. I zoomed in. I said,
I mean, I like these
I'm
things
gonna go sit
about
over
myself.
there.
Yeah, I'm glad. That's why
I'm like, that should have
Pisces.
attracted me. That's hilarious. I don't get what
Yes.
you're saying. These other
No,
people.
but yeah,
I
but I
hear
feel
you.
that, and I feel like Paris talks about how she like has trouble just like talking, and that's something I've dealt with too, feeling like I like have a lot of thoughts in my head, but I don't always know how to articulate them, and then I feel like people like think I'm dumb. But anyway,
I hear that.
I've just always like subconsciously like, I think, felt a connection to her because she's like just so Aquarius. I don't know.
She's Aquarius as fuck.
She's Aquarius as fuck, and she has Leo moon, and I have Leo rising.
Oh, I was
and
just about to ask.
Yeah, so she
also we won't get to it yet, but my
Mhm.
choice also is Leo moon.
Oh,
which is
fun! Wait,
interesting.
that's so cool.
I'm
I didn't
excited
even...
to hear that Paris is Leo moon. Because,
Yes.
Anyway, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, and
wow. And wait, do you have the exact same rising as Paris too?
No, she's Sagittarius rising, which I think makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the chart is really cool. I think I think that she's a really awesome person. The Sagittarius rising, I think, is very like, she always needs to grow, always needs to expand. You know, I don't know if you watched her documentary that came out recently.
I did.
She has that whole moment where she's like, I just feel like in order to feel free, I need to have like an excessive, ridiculous amount of money. Like, I have to keep working. Like, I could stop, but I need to.
Right?
Yeah,
like
right.
Really, like, I want to cross into billionaire range, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, even when she was saying that, to me, like, Paris Hilton has money. Paris Hilton doesn't need more money, obviously. To me, that was her being like, I won't feel like I'm successful enough and that I've really done this as a real career, as a real job, until I get into the billionaire realm. And I knew people like kind of flacked on that, like, oh, it's so like greedy. And I'm like, I do kind of get that though, because this measure of success, especially in that level of fame and in the career and the trajectory in the world that Paris Hilton has like built for herself, I get where it's almost like she'd be the king, like she'd be the queen of all queens, being a billionaire, doing what she did. And like, to me, I get what she kind of means by that. It's a way that she can like rest, or not even that she like wants to quit, but it's like she won't be like, I kind of did. I understood where people saw that as like greed, absolutely, but I also kind of understood that like, we got to remember she's in a different world than we are. Like, and like, she's always had money, so it's like, it's a bigger. It's, to me, that was more of her being like, being a billionaire in this is like unheard of. Like, it's she really created something, you know. Like, I get like. Go on.
No, I agree. I think like no one needs $1 billion, but I think the way I interpreted it from the documentary was that she like can't, because of all the shit she went through in childhood with like the school that abused her and like all these situations that
Yeah.
made her feel like she didn't have the freedom that's so important to Aquarius and Sagittarius. Like she, yeah, like having $1 billion
Oh,
would
yeah.
make it so that she can be
Can be
free.
free
Like
forever.
it's a weird psychological complex, but yeah.
You're so right. No, I
Um,
totally, as you just mentioned that too, I'm like, just because she grew up with money, that wasn't hers. And like,
right.
and yeah, she was sent to a school that treated her awfully and like did not have freedom. And like, when you grow up with, I don't know what that's like personally, to grow up with like
I know.
your parents, like you having just inherently having money because your parents have it. But like, I find with money, sometimes the love gets sort of like a little murky, or there's like a lot of control in that. Even in your own like
Yeah.
people who love you, there is like this like really wealthy families sort of know that they're always going to have their kids because their kids are always sort of going to like me. I don't know. There is a weird control dynamic that even though
There is.
Paris grew up unbelievably entitled, unbelievably wealthy, it's so bizarre to also be like, but no freedom. Like it's an interesting double-edged sword in a way.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
to have all
agree.
that money but no freedom, and like these would be
Yeah.
her billions, like
Right.
her freedom.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, that's very satirizing. And then, um, yeah, the fact that she has Neptune in the first house, I think says something about her experience, like being taken to this school without any say. Like there's kind of like a victim thing there that then like, I don't know, she had to like sacrifice her freedom again in Sagittarius, Neptune being in Sagittarius,
Right.
sacrifice freedom in a way that really colored her whole identity, the first house.
Yeah.
And then and then her Leo moon is in the 8th house, which is also interesting. So there's like, she in so many interviews she says like, yeah, I don't trust anyone. Like she's like, I only trust my sister. I don't trust anyone. And like, I'm very private. And it's only recently that she like had her first therapist. She's like, I don't even trust therapists, like yada, yada, yada. And
God damn.
I know. And she's had a lot of shitty boyfriends before this guy that she
like, I
just
don't
married.
blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moon in the
And she
8th,
talks
I
about
think
that
that
in
all
her doc a
fits.
little bit too. Or really, I liked like she had a moment in her documentary with that, like it was one of the realest. I loved it was like my favorite scene from the documentary. And like she's talking about dating these boys and how it's like I have to be so like careful in how I pick these men, because if they like I can't have someone who's like, if they're dependent on me, or just sort of like, she was just more sort of saying like she tends to attract men who like then get really weird about her being her own like she talks about, I can't date someone who's not going to allow me to have freedom, essentially, without saying that. Like as you're saying this, I'm realizing like she's talking about that in a partner, because she's had so many sort of shitty abusive partners who like get controlling of her and like
or jealous or like
jealous. Yes, that's what it is, of her success. And like
yeah,
she's like, I need someone who's not going to be insecure that I'm going to be the money maker, that I'm going to be the head of the like. And she's like, because I fall in love with these boys and then they get weird about me being me. And like, God, what a shitty,
totally. And
that's
there's
not her
like
fault.
no, yeah, I know, I feel bad, but it seems like she has
boys,
a good one now. But like,
yeah, that's great.
The Leo moon is also, she like needs to shine.
Her
She
freedom.
needs to party.
Yes.
She needs to like express herself
on her
like,
own terms.
Yeah. But I think she's so cool. I think she's so Aquarius at the same time. Like you can tell she's like weird, you know? Like she's got
she's a little weirdo. Like she's
she has like 10 dogs and like a whole Hello Kitty room, and like, you know, she could be like one of the Kardashians and like get all the crazy, like, I don't know. She's very her own person, I feel like, and she always has been. Like she's not just trying to go with the mainstream or the fads.
Right.
She never got a boob job, you know? She's just like,
she really is just like, she is I mean, like, yeah, her career started, but it was always like she's the personality behind Paris is what makes, I mean, people adore her. Like you talk about Paris Hilton, she really hasn't been super, I don't think she's irrelevant by any means, but in terms of like, like what was the show? Simple
Life.
Like she had that doc come out recently, but to maintain the level of like relevance that she's maintained while not in the cream of her like not in her prime anymore. Her fans care about her so much in a way that you kind of can't be shitty and still have fans like that. Like she's so dedicated to them. And so like, I just feel like she gives back in a way, and like she's very appreciative to her fans and really gives time to her fans. And the way that she was just at Miley Cyrus's New Year's Eve like concert. She came out and sang. I don't know if you saw that, but like,
I heard
it's
about
just
that.
kind of like, yes. And it was like very like Miley's just like, yeah, I'm gonna bring Paris out. We're gonna have a little song, like, because she's just a good fucking time. And like, I love like that's Miley's energy too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always kind of thought it's really amazing how relevant Paris has still remained when you think about it.
And that she's like, I'm gonna be a DJ.
Up the Kardashians.
Yeah. Like,
and I forgot about Kim getting her start with Paris. I totally forget about that.
Right. I know.
Kim got
Paris fucking created her.
Built that family. From the ground up.
Literally. What a queen. Good. I mean, I could talk about her for another hour.
And then Kim just went to her wedding. So like they're still friends, yeah. Kim just went to Paris's wedding. Yeah. She like brings up that she's got to go to it in the new show. But yeah, Paris, you're so hot, and that's hot. Come on the show.
Hot.
That's hot. Paris. She said that at the New Year's. Yeah, but you're so right. She just has this like I said, I think I'd be friends with Paris. Like I'm surrounded by Aquarians. It would just be very like effortless, just kind of like a good time. Like,
and she's also
she's just
fucking
down to
funny.
Kind of a good time.
She's fun, funny, and smart, and like yeah.
And like
one of a kind.
Truly one of a kind. Yeah, I love Paris Hilton.
Same.
I couldn't agree with you more, Heather. And I don't know if I always like when Simple Life was on, I don't think I like watched it all that much, or I always understood of who Paris Hilton was, but seeing like, you know, not that Nicole Richie has like completely fallen off by any means, but there's a difference. There's a difference to have how Paris has sort of like remained Paris. I feel like she's been who she started. I just burped into the mic, folks. I apologize. Like who she's been since she started is who she is, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
And exactly like you said, like she hasn't had to follow trends. She's just sort of remained where she is because she's her.
Yeah,
and like I think there's something so powerful in that.
And that's very Aquarius Leo. Like I think about, I don't know, all the celebrities that have that Aquarius Leo thing going on. I feel like there's like an attention to like authenticity. Like I think of Casey Musgraves. I don't know. It's yeah. She doesn't have to mold herself. She's unique. She knows who she is, and she's confident in it. Yeah, it's iconic. She's iconic.
Come on the show, Paris.
Come on the show, Paris.
Speaking of iconic, Heather.
Yeah.
This next chart also, we're gonna have some heavy hitters with these Aquarians, but
I know
this next Aquarius, I'm so excited to be doing her chart. She's truly an Aquarius through and through. She talks about being an Aquarius, which I love. The one and only Thee Stallion.
Woo.
Aquarius as fuck. Also Leo moon and a Taurus rising.
Oh wow!
So she's So I'm like, I literally said, me and Megan have Taurus rising, but like, it's really. So I was like really excited to hear that Paris has that Leo moon too, because and as you just talked about, like the authenticity, I very much feel like that's Thee Stallion. She's very about like authenticity as well, and she's just very kind of like in her bag and who she is in this way of like she's sort of all. Again, she's just kind of always known who she is in this these Aquarians with these Leo moons. It's like they have the like whatever sort of like personality of just like it's just gonna work out kind of sort of attitude, but then they're Leo, that like these Leo or these fire placements create like this extra little like spark of like I'd follow them off a cliff. I don't know how else to explain it. Like why wouldn't I go there? Like, I don't know. There's an attraction. It's a magnetic force. Like what a great combo is to be Aquarius with some fire. I think that's just kind of like what a little pizzazz, but very about her authenticity. I love Thee Stallion. She's very like vocal. She's so fucking funny. Like Aquarians are funny.
Thank you for saying that.
Like I do, like Megan's very like funny and again just kind of herself and like doesn't apologize for it and like it's just, and she's so young. to be just like really in her prime and still only kind of going up. Like her career is still on like the takeoff and the going up motion. But it's just been such a fun ride. I'm a huge fan. She talks about being an Aquarius all the time. But yeah, that Leo moon, again, just sort of everything you just said about Paris. I'm like, yeah, it could be applied to Megan. Like,
yeah. Do you feel like
pizzazz.
is she a
Sorry,
is she a big time partier? Because I noticed that with Leo moons too.
You know, I don't.
Maybe she doesn't have that reputation. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that she likes to like. She likes to drink a little bit, but like she's also a huge like she works out, and she had like the whole like during COVID, like kind of like when we were getting out of COVID, she was like hot girl, like she was putting out hot girl videos of like, here's all the food I'm throwing out of my house, because like, and she was very like, I've been eating, and then she's like, and now it's time to work out, and like just had like a whole series. Like she almost could be a influencer. Like if she wasn't Megan Thee Stallion, I think I'd still just vibe with her and follow her on socials because she's so fun.
Yeah.
Which is like this fun realm. But then she'll just crank out a top #1 hit, and then also just be like boop 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 on like her TikTok, like just being silly, just being Megan.
Yeah. I love that.
But yeah, I do. There's it's like she carries herself in this way. She's also just been through a lot of shit. Megan lost her mom. And her mom also was a rapper, and like a big part of why Megan is like rapping and doing this, I think, is the connection and that like passion of like sharing this with her mom a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say, in terms of the partying thing, I know that like, I don't want to get all into it because I'm not following it and I literally forget his name. But she was shot at a party in the, like, this was a couple years ago. She was shot in both of her feet at a party by another, God damn it, I'm going to have to think of his name. But speaking of the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner was there. Like the funniest thing about like this party, it's gonna kill me. I gotta know that guy's name really quick. Yeah, but Kylie Jenner is like at this party with Megan Thee Stallion and of like, you know, from some famous fucking LA people, and Megan Thee Stallion and Kylie Jenner apparently and a couple other people are in this car. Tory Lanez, that's his name. Tory Lanez is who like shot Megan in the feet allegedly. And like when I say allegedly, like she had bullet holes in her feet and she was not ever trying to like get into it super big. But like she was kind of sort of forced to, and now he's in big trouble. I do think charges have been like pressed against him if I remember correctly and all that. But like my whole point to say this was like, I definitely know she dabbles. I don't know if she's since then. Like, I think she's definitely, her circle of trust has gotten tighter. And she even talks about that. Like, things were just getting really big, really fast, like with her fame. And then just sort of like all of a sudden she's at these parties, rubbing elbows with these really famous people. And like, it's my whole point to just bring up Kylie was like, it's just crazy to me that Kylie was at that party in that car, is a literal witness to this shooting.
Jeez.
She's not been called up for questioning, not anything, which again just salutes to the Kardashian power. But like truly, I know that like, I don't know if like Megan's maybe skewed a little bit, but yeah, I think I know she likes to have a good time. That was just a huge big like thing. And I know what's his face Tory Lanez just got like nailed for it finally in this way that was like, yeah, needed to happen. Anywho, but like, yeah, it's just interesting. And but see, I thought that was so amazing that she was kind of talking about that. Like, she's like, I'm in my mid-20s. I'm now making all this money, and I'm just like living a life of luxury in this way. That's like, I'm now in these rooms with these people. This is now who I'm partying with. And like, she even said like that it was all getting a little too much or too big, and she like took a step back. And that fucking authenticity and just like,
no, it's true.
If Megan's speaking on it, like I trust it. Like it's like she's not bullshitting. Like there's a very like, I just, again, this way she carries herself, the way Paris carries herself, this like like I think it's very interesting that they're both like Aquarian suns with that Leo moon, because it's like, I'm gonna carry myself in this confident way, but if you're really gonna sit down and talk about it, I'm not gonna shoot the shit. Like I'm gonna really I'm
always going to be myself. Yeah.
Yes. And I applaud it. I think we should all do it more.
I mean, that is like,
obviously.
Yeah, that is like especially with celebrities, I like find that so fucking refreshing when you can just tell someone is like being themselves. They're not trying
Yes.
to please the masses, you know.
It's like, I just, or like, I get it. There's PR, yada, yada. But when everyone just starts sounding like a politician, it's just so boring.
it's
And it's
so
just like, this
boring.
isn't real. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I respect anyone who's like, this could get me in a lot of trouble, but I can't not, say it or whatever.
Right.
And like, again, she was never trying to be a snitch. I want to clarify, or rat anyone out.
Yeah.
It got to a point where he was speaking on her and she had to like defend herself and actually put the story out there. And justice for Meg was received, baby.
That's good.
But yeah,
Shit.
I
That's
love these Aquarian
crazy.
women.
Ugh,
It's so fun that they both have Leo moon. And
I
Heather,
know.
you're an Aquarius sun, Taurus moon,
Taurus
Leo
moon.
rising.
Leo rising.
So you're like switched from Megan.
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Literally a little inverted of your signs. That's interesting.
I kind of wish I were Leo moon because they just like they're able to like access their confidence in such a less
It's really a
difficult way. Yeah. But
it's almost like they're not gonna not operate from another place. It's like they can't. And I
Yeah.
love that. Like
I
that's
know,
what I'm
me
trying to
too.
encompass all the time. Authenticity and just like
Ugh.
expressing my shit.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love this fucking sign.
Me too.
I
wish
love
that
this
we
season.
I do too. So much. But yeah, I wish we had her birth time because I'm really curious like what the houses are. It seems like there's some
Megan's?
intense shit. Maybe I don't have it on my
I don't know
chart.
if Astro Theme has it. Oh, mine says Wednesday, February 15th, 1995. Oh my God, Heather, she's a year younger than us. 11 a.m. But that could just be, I'm not quite sure. This is on Astro Theme. Shouts out to Astro Theme. You know him, you love him. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But I'm not sure if that's necessarily correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
yeah, no. Incredible how similar Paris Hilton and Megan Thee Stallion.
I know we didn't
too.
plan that.
Like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
But then like you
that's
look at their charts and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Heather, anything else the folks and me should be expecting for this upcoming Aquarius? We just had a new moon in Aquarius.
We just had a moon in Aquarius. Yeah, we're gonna have a full moon February 4th, I believe.
And is that in Leo?
That's in
my planner.
Leo. It is. Yes, it's in Leo.
I thought
so that's really exciting. Again, dealing with these themes of like authenticity and feeling excited to like express yourself and give something to the collective through connecting with your authenticity. But yeah, before then, Venus is going to enter Pisces very soon, which is exciting because, like I said, Venus is exalted in Pisces, which means it's very comfortable there. And I think that at the end of this month, there's a lot happening transit wise that's going to make us just sort of like relax and feel very like okay, sort of like we're just riding the waves of life. We're more able to feel compassionate, accepting about things, craving love, intimacy. Love that. Also, I know, right? Also, January 30th, the sun in Aquarius is going to form a trine to Mars in Gemini. At the same time, we love trines, free-flowing, harmonious energy. Also, Mercury is going to form
30th?
Yes. Sorry. And on the same day, Mercury is going to trine Uranus. So, and Uranus is Aquarius's ruling planet. So there's a lot of free-flowing energy at the end of the month that's like about communication, because it's a lot of air energies, being able to communicate more easily, especially with Mars being in Gemini. And but also I think there's going to be like a surge of just like being able to detach and look at things in an intellectual way that is really helpful, especially when it comes to figuring out, like, what's my next soul purpose? What's my like mission in life? Like, what am I leaving behind? What is my legacy? All these things we'll be able to like detach better, and
like an aerial bird's eye view.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's very Aquarius.
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, because Aquarius also, Liz Green says that Aquarius is like the astrologer, like, and Uranus, Aquarius's planet, is like the planet that deals with like looking at patterns and being able to gain something through analyzing the patterns of life. And I don't know, I've noticed that a lot of Aquarians do that in their own way. So yeah,
Interesting.
a good time to really get into astrology, Aquarius season.
Aquarian is kind of the astrologer.
I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I think that there is something. Yeah, I think that they're able to like notice patterns and innovate through that. Yeah.
They're able to like get up and higher with a better overlook.
Yeah. All the
like
last
Aquarius
few
has
signs do, but
ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
To like tap in. That's what an amazing, beautiful time.
I know.
As all the seasons are, but I'm just extra excited for you, Heather, because you are an Aquarius. So I know you're
I'm
really
excited.
thriving. And it's gonna be a good one, y'all. Y'all stay tuned for that full moon in Leo, right? I said that right? Full moon in Leo, and that'll be coming up. Will that already happen?
No, we'll talk about it next episode. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll
February
get more
4th.
into it. And we're just gearing up for Aquarius season, y'all. Y'all buckle up.
We are.
Y'all
it's
get
an
cozy.
exciting time. Yeah.
And we're in the. So sorry, Heather. Direct. Where all our planets are direct.
Planets direct next 92 days, guys. Get pumped. Make shit happen.
Make shit happen, y'all. Nike it. Okay. The universe says you got that green light to just do. We're not thinking, we're just doing. Well,
Nike sponsor us.
Bit, Nike, come on the pod.
I know Aquarius is all about thinking, but think and do.
Yes, I love that we have the green flag to also like do. Oh, and with that, I love you, Heather.
I love you. Love everybody.
I love you, listeners. We love you. We love you, Megan. We love you, Paris. Come on the pod, listeners. We'll see you right here next week.
Bye.
Infinite abundance.
Infinite abundance. Bye. Bye.